Your home lies 10,000 meters beneath the red line, directly under the feet of the arrogant world nobles, those so-called gods who named themselves celestial dragons. Your very location screamed of inequality, of the vast chasm that separated you from them. Your home is a massive island, the getaway to the new world for those unable to cross the red line by land through the sacred ground of Mary Geoise. The irony was cruel. Your island sat directly beneath the headquarters of the world government, a constant reminder of where you stood in the grand order of things. After Roger's death, the world plunged into a frenzy, searching for his treasure, and waves of pirates began flooding toward your island. Only 30% of them ever reached it. The rest were swallowed by the sea, devoured by sea kings, or crushed under the immense pressure of the ocean depths. You, the fishmen, were never recognized as equals to humans. You were different. Your skin was not like theirs. Many of you had fins, gills, or other unique physical traits. Even among your kind, there were distinctions. Merfolk, for example. When a fishman and a mermaid had children, they could be either, regardless of gender. You were simply a different kind of being. But you, too, had emotions, character, and the same blood flowing through your veins. Yet to the humans, you were nothing more than a fish. Humans feared you, your strength, your speed, your ability to breathe underwater. They saw you as a threat, though it was they who oppressed you. This irrational fear bred hatred, cruelty, and discrimination. And so, born into this world, you felt like an outsider. You were not like them. You were different. And you asked yourself, why should I fear these humans? Why do they think they are above us? But fear was not the only thing you felt. You also harbored hatred. Hatred for those who oppressed your people, who saw you as inferior. And you thought about the day when you could take your revenge, when you could show them who you truly were. But you were no monster. Monsters would have given into their hatred. You embodied everything they feared, but you refused to become what they believed you to be. You understood that hatred was not the answer. It would only breed more hatred, more wars for generations to come. So you sought another path. You wanted a world where humans and fishmen could live in peace, where they could respect one another. You decided to start your own dark and neglected ghetto, the place where you grew up. Nature had blessed you. You were not only intelligent, but also physically stronger than your brothers. One day, you made it clear that you were the one in charge, and everyone would listen to you. You made them understand that they had nothing to fear from you. You were one of them, and you would always protect your people. With time, you earned their trust. You became a leader, a mentor, a figure of respect. Even Neptune himself acknowledged your achievements, as neither he nor his elders had been able to bring order to that place. After solidifying your influence, you turned back to the greater problem: how to bring true harmony between humans and fishmen, how to create mutual respect. You could have joined Neptune's army, but that was not your path. You were a free fishman, and you set off on a journey, leaving your district in the hands of your loyal subordinates. You surfaced, exploring human cultures and meeting other races. Unlike you, they were not oppressed. They lived under the same sun. Among them were long legs, long arms, and others who were different from humans. You traveled far and wide, but never forgot to return home, sharing stories of your adventures and the people you met. Eventually, it was time for another journey. On Sabauti, you marveled at its beauty but remained cautious, knowing you were an unwelcome outsider. One night, as you prepared to sleep, a group of skilled humans ambushed and captured you. At first, you didn't know who they were, but you soon realized: slave traders. You were sold at an auction house, branded with the mark of a slave, and sent to the sacred land of Mary Geoise. Because of your rarity, you were not kept with the other slaves. You were a personal pet, expected to obey commands at a moment's notice. A collar sat around your neck. You could have easily removed it, but doing so would trigger an explosion that might have killed you. For months, you endured slavery, watching through a window as others perished simply because they were too weak to work or refused to accept their fate. Witnessing such horrors, you grew to hate humans even more. You no longer wanted to live alongside them. But in time, you realized it was not all humans. It was the celestial dragons. Among the slaves were ordinary people, suffering just as you were. You came to understand that common humans could be victims too. Here in captivity, you were all equal. One night, as you lay in bed, gathering strength for the next day's torment, you finally had enough. You shattered the explosive collar around your neck. The blast deafened you, but did not kill you. It was designed for humans, not fishmen. You survived. You ran, escaping in fear, knowing that this chapter of your life was over. You dove into the ocean and had never felt such happiness as when you finally returned home to Fishman Island. Before facing your people, you covered your slave brand with a new mark, one of your own design, a sun, a symbol of hope. You made yourself presentable. You returned, and your subordinates rejoiced at your arrival. Their first words were that you had been gone for far longer than usual. Overjoyed to see them, you simply said, "We'll talk later," before heading to Neptune and Otohime. They welcomed you warmly, and you shared your plan: to raid Mary Geoise and free every last slave. They asked what had changed you so much. Your answer was simple: humans. Under the cover of night, you climbed the red line with your bare hands, evading the distracted guards. You set fire to Mary Geoise, flames consuming its corrupted core. You had lost faith in humanity, these monstrous creatures, but the slaves, regardless of race, were equals in your eyes. You freed them all, giants, humans, and every other captive. Your plan succeeded. You erased their slave brands, replacing them with the mark of the sun. It was painful, but compared to their past suffering, it was liberation. You returned home and founded the Sun Pirates. Your followers rallied to you. The sun symbol became a badge of honor. Whether they had been slaves or not, if they wished to sail under your flag, they bore the mark. You became a pirate with a purpose, sinking Navy ships one by one. When the authorities accused you of harboring fugitives and demanded their return, you stood firm. Find even one person aboard with a slave mark. You won't. A bounty was placed on your head and that of your right hand. When you revisited the freed slaves, they thanked you again and asked for your help returning a young girl to her family. They lacked the means to cross the ocean. You agreed, believing that the next generation held the power to change the world and foster peace between humans and fishmen. Some of your crew opposed the decision, questioning why she was even aboard. She endured their scorn, silently scrubbing the deck and muttering, "I'm sorry." She was sick, a condition born of slavery, where crying meant death, disobedience meant death. This was what slavery did to people. 3 years later, you reached your destination. You ordered your crew to wait as you reunited her with her family. On your way back, Marines ambushed you. You fought them off, but their numbers overwhelmed you. Gunfire drew your crew to your aid, and a battle broke out. You managed to escape, but your ship was sunk. Your men hijacked a marine vessel and fled. Your doctor warned you. You had lost too much blood. A transfusion was your only chance. The marine supply held the rare blood type you needed. It was identical to fishman blood. You refused. You would not be indebted to them. Your body would accept the blood, but you would rather die than live with it inside you. That blood is tainted with hatred for my kind. I don't need their mercy. In that moment, you revealed the truth. During your last journey, you had been a slave. Your story was over. You became a legend, a symbol of hope and freedom for the oppressed. You proved that even in a world drowning in hatred and prejudice, justice and equality were worth fighting for.